We have heard from the politicians. What are the veterans saying? Pete Hegseth is the CEO of Concerned Veterans for America, is also a Fox News contributor. Pete, welcome back, and good morning to you there in Minneapolis.
Thank you, Bill.
What are they saying?
What are they saying? They're saying we've been seeing these massive plumes of smoke on the horizon, and now we've been able to dig inside. And, of course, what everyone knew it was is a raging fire. This is a system that is infected. We've known it's been infected. Brett laid it out very well, whether it's anecdotal or through the reports in the last couple of months. This is literally the VA lying and veterans dying because of it. And it's time for heads to roll and for Congress to take action. We don't need more investigations. We don't need more hearings. We know what the problems are. The president knows what the problems are. The top leaders at VA know what the problems are. Now the question is, will people step up and act? And there is legislation that's coming down the pike that will give senators the opportunity to do something about this, and we're going to put the pressure on them.
Here from the VFW now on the screen for our viewers. Quote, there are no second chances when you deal with people's lives. And that includes everyone in senior leadership who should have known but did not, or knew but did not care. If the final IG report confirms willful negligence, then those responsible need to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. That phrase, willful negligence.
There has been willful negligence. Unfortunately, the VFW still hasn't called for Shinseki to step down and still hasn't signed on to some of the accountability legislation. So we hope they'll jump on that. The American Legion and others really have, but they're onto it. They're correct. This is willful negligence. That's exactly what it is. Bureaucratic indifference. And Brett laid out the stats. The VA was saying that veterans were waiting 24 days. In reality, veterans were waiting 115 days, 4 months for a basic appointment. 1,700 veterans, real people with names and backgrounds and service records were deleted from the list, never transferred to Washington. Their appointment never happened. And this investigation that started with one facility in Phoenix and to 26 is now they're investigating 42 facilities across the United States about falsifying wait times and then covering it up. This is a systemic, infected, bureaucratic culture that needs to change.
But listen, okay, fire Shinseki, but what comes in after him? I mean, you have to change a system.
You do. You have to change a culture, Bill. You've got to get at accountability. There's got to be transparency, which there's been none. And then you've got to have choice. You've got to have portability. If a veteran is waiting 115 days at the Phoenix facility to get a basic colonoscopy, why can't they go to the facility next door that's got no wait list and the money goes with them? This is an idea, choice, the opportunity to provide competition for VA facilities so that they have to compete, hustle for the business of veterans who right now they take for granted. So I think Congress and the Senate has got to look hard at choice legislation.
People are already considering that on the Hill. Andy Harris, a Republican out of Maryland,
they are
is strongly in favor of pushing that idea. Listen, the president said if it was systemic, he'd take action, and the headline was quite clear. It is systemic. What do you think happens now, Pete?
Well, still crickets from the president. What happens now? I hope he steps up. But you know what? Shinseki can't be a fall guy. Getting rid of Shinseki right now doesn't change the problem. It's a good first step, but then we'd be looking at who he replaces them with, what background they have. Are they a true reformer? And then are we putting the tools in the hands of that secretary to actually cut through a calcified bureaucracy?
Pete, thank you. Pete Hegseth there in Minneapolis today. Pete, nice to have you back.
Bill.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.